Hello, this is Greth, and welcome to another rec development video. Before we get stuck into the real mapping deal, we're going to go really deep into it. I'm going to empty my soul of all grievances. A common thing that keeps popping up, now we have texturing. Look at that, woo, with reflections and everything, because this is Unreal Engine. Let me say one thing. In the age of everything needing to be pixelated or cartoony or low poly or bollocks like that, FPS games still somehow are required to have AAA assets everywhere. Now we have an artist, a very good one, who somehow made this out of the horrible mess that I left him. So thank you, Scott, for that. But most competitive arena shooters especially want to turn off everything possible, like no assets or whatever, because what all they do is get in the fucking way. I never compromised on any of this. I never compromised my flow or the aesthetics of my map. This is what the game needs. It needs a freaking 45-degree slope and some walls. That's what makes this game already far more complex than anything out there. So we're not gonna have things that you bump on. Those lights, they're no clip lights. You can just go through them. They have no impact because everything is important in these maps. But if you don't like the art style, you know, this is not to your liking, then fine, no problem, okay? Because this is Unreal Engine and all the options are here. So you go there, you do material quality, and oh my god, look, it looks like one of those real indie games. Like the ones that are funded by companies that have millions of dollars, instead of us 4 or 5 guys doing this in our free time. Yeah? So you can have that while we try to make it as pretty as possible with the bollocks I come up with. Good? Good. So that was the intro. Alright, so this is where the real mapping rant starts. I'm going to get really excited about this wall in about 30 seconds. But first of all, let me point out that over the last year, I've been experimenting and drafting with all kinds of things. But we're starting here at core. And as the video progresses, I'm going to move from the developed map, this one that's functional in its current form, to more and more experimental things and eventually a map I'm actually constructing. So here we are. So this video is a bit of a therapy in that sense to find validation for me as well. And yeah, that's all I've been trying to do. I've been trying to figure out how to make maps for a game like this without compromising on the movement anyway. Actually allowing you to do what the engine can do instead of gating it in little easy areas. All right, so the 3 things I'm going to talk about most probably are flow, verticality, and transitioning. Flow, very importantly, you as the player should never be impeded. There should be no dead stops. There should be no dead ends. You should always have a way out. Because the way this game works, the pace of this game, is that we're probably going to move away from control-based gameplay and more chase-based gameplay, like in Tribes. That's the whole thing. You can't really control an area because there's so many ways to get there. So really, your first opponent is the map. And navigating the map becomes more important, and then your opponent is there as well doing the same thing. You're fighting against the game a little bit, because that's what advanced movement does. You need to, and that's the thing though. In Quake, you had the strafe jumping, and the speed you navigated at was what determines how well you could control the map, how fast you could go around. But that's the baseline where we start. With our game, there's so much to do in terms of movement that, and then of course with the energy that allows you to shortcut a little bit when you mess up. That's going to be the primary thing. So because again, I hit that wall. Well, I'm making a lot of mistakes because well, as a true developer, I am very bad at my own game. So anyway, we are then going to talk about verticality. This whole map was designed for that. reason to bring in actual verticality. Not just, oh, I need to look up. No, the actual map is made that you have to be aware of your surroundings. The map knowledge is important, but mostly you need to start looking up. So, and then transitioning is a concept that I will explain. It's a little bit more vague, but it's a really fun thing that I try to include in everything I made. Before I started on Rect, I was working on Project Freefall, which is sadly defunct now, but was a tribes game where I really wanted to have that wow moment when you enter a new area that suddenly changes everything in terms of the composition of the map, in composition of the room, let's say. Right, so let's get started with the wall. All right, and what a fine wall it is. Now, the important thing is that this is the first wall I put down as a map designer for Rect. This was my first test, and this entire map is a cavalcade of proof of concept. It is not a perfect map, but it is a functional one. So there's a lot of things, a lot of rough edges that I will talk about later. Now, the important thing here about this wall is, namely, that I will walk up to it without jumping. And I will just not make it. And that's the important thing. That's the extent of your baseline speed with a wall jump, with a wall run. And that's where you end up. So if you do a jump, you're fine. And that, the little clunkiness of that is important for the flow of the game. Because the important thing is that this map allows you to play certain ways, but will ask you a toll in energy if you break certain patterns of flow. You could, for instance, go up here, you use the energy to go all the way up here. I was doing that with very small momentum. If the momentum is a little quicker, then I could, yeah, I can make it right from actually almost standstill. I could make it all the way up here, which is very nice. If I don't want to use the energy, then I can just use a jump and make it to the halfway point, to a little thing here where the mega health is. I could also have a little jump from the backside, or I can just simply do a jump and bop in here. That's flow. You force yourself around paying energy as you take shortcuts. That's the whole idea. If you go up here, for instance, jump up here, I can do this perfectly without any sort of energy use. But if I'm up here and I don't want to be bothered with that, nobody's in sight, then I could do the whole quake thing. Oh, jump a little too fast. I could do a bit of quake strafe jump, have a little tap of energy and make it up here. This wall is a perfect example. It's also one of the earliest ones I made, is that if we use a bit of energy to get started, we can get through here and then boom, use the teleporter and actually get down there. If you use a strafe jump, then you're gonna get up here and we're back where we started. There's that one might have been a little much, but that's the thing. That's the flow of the map. This is a lot to take in. This is a lot of map knowledge that you need to have and a lot of certainty in the use, because you can bungle around here and fail horribly. Because, well, there's a lot of things, like for instance, if you are on this position here, there's a lot of places. You've got down there, up here, you've got a little bit of rail there, you've got two areas here. If I want to get up there, that's not a given. You could force it, sure. If you go up here, boom, and you force it up, you just use all of your energy and you're around the mega health, so you're probably in the rail, so you're probably going to get killed. So really, you can, but maybe not the best idea. Maybe it's better to get the fuck out of here and, you know, go a different route. If you maybe use your energy here and be a little bit more safe, go all the way around. And this is the point I'm trying to make before, is that the complexity of that is all you need. You don't need slopes and all kinds of bullshit. You've got these spurts of speed that you can develop using the quake movement a little bit, adding to that, trying to figure out a way to move around this map and get away, and maybe somehow include some of the pickups in the way you're playing here. So you can duck around, go all the way down as well. So that is flow. Now about verticality, it is somewhat similar in that this map is divided in 3 distinct levels. You can see me. I am bad at my own game, by the way, guys. I'm in no way good. I think Vorm or Killinger is better, but anyway, it's important to be bad at your own game. Here's the thing in verticality, right? So we are at the top right now. Yes? Yes, we are. So this is the top level. You've got 1/2 above, and then we have a little bit more higher, but this is basically the top area. There's not a lot of surface area here. That's on this level. Then we step down 1 level. And we are at the wall going up, and we've got the pit going down. We've got these things in the middle as a sort of in-between levels that facilitate that. There we go. That's the area here. And you can see that's the top there and the very bottom there. So we go down 1 more level. This is the very bottom. This is basically all the surface area that has, and this half level in between here. That's the layout. And now the very important thing is the interaction. I can go from here to a semi-level, but never get to the half level. So to the second level. So we go up here, I use a jump, I'm not using energy, and now I'm at the second level. Or if I use energy with the same thing, I can get all the way to the third. There is an immense cliff there connecting these and basically blocking off. Here's the second point. So all of these things are connected. Now, yeah, that is the verticality of it. As when you are on certain points in the map, for instance, you have immense vantage points. I can now look from the top all the way to the bottom. For instance, if I have a grenade launcher, I can interact with those levels. Here as well, I can go there. There's a little hole here where we have our mega armor, or mega energy really, 100 energy that can be used as armor and as anti-grav. So the more energy you gather, the more armor you could have, or the more spectacular things with energy you could do. I could float around here for a little bit. If you are at the bottom level here, again, same thing. I could... Oh, is there an inheritance on these things already? I can't quite make it to the grenade launcher. I need to be careful. No, I'm hitting that. Okay. No, but there's a lot of things I can shoot at here. I can see a lot of things from this vantage point. If we go over here, then you have that hole there. And of course also that, which... There we go, moves to the mega health again. Oh, come on. I wanted to do a cool thing, but I'm not cool, so that's a problem. There we go. Rocket also on a half level. So from here, there we go, that's that area here. Weep. These are bad jumps, by the way. This is because I'm doing the video. These are like horrible jumps because they make you an instant mid-air target. There we go. So you can have a vantage point here, people going in there. Everything's connected, everything needs to be taken care of, because if we are here, whoops, Tribes elevator for the win, wee. There we go. You could get stuck really easily if you're not using it properly. So we've got this little area there, which we used, there we go. So there's a lot of things to look at. Also that area, well, if we use, this is from side, I've got 288 energy, so it's a little bit more than usual. Strafe, and then go all the way. We can get up there, all the way, and then bounce around and back again. So that is flow and verticality. These are important things at the basis of the whole thing. And again, if you like that kind of thing, then this is going to be the game for you. Now I'm going to move away from core and show you what I've made with the lessons learned here, because this literally was just a tutorial session for me to see what is possible. It looks bare bones, but again, the way I'm moving around here, it really can't be more complex, except still there is surface area, there's many angles, but nothing really, it's not overly complex. It requires the number of avenues that I create because it is very open. It needs to be open. Our railgun is a projectile, a bouncing projectile, so don't worry about that. All right, but area denial will certainly be a thing, and because there's always a lot of vantage points. Last thing, no, let's move on. So that was a look at core. Maybe we'll return here. I don't know yet what I'm going to do, but now I'm going to show a second map called Nadir or Nadir that does some things with the ideas here. All right, so welcome to Nadir. This is not the second map I made. This is one of several, and this is again one that is ready for playtesting, which hopefully we will start soon. This is a somewhat evolution on the concept of core, but with the distinct intention of making things a bit more claustrophobic. Also, there is not a clear-cut line of movement here. Especially, this is the top level of the map. This is the actual highest point, let's say. And the highest point might be this little wall here. There's a lot more forceful use of the energy. So people will be a bit more vulnerable if they don't have map knowledge. Now, of course, on the video, because you're seeing this for the first time, this entire map is going to look like absolute chaos. And it is kind of. There is the flow isn't as defined. There's a lot more options here. And yeah, again, I don't know if this is going to make the cut. Lessons learned here from core was, again, the verticality. And the verticality is immensely extreme. Because now, let me go to one of the low points here. If I look up, there is chaos here. Yeah, there is visual chaos. But this is the thing. This is a step I'm willing to take and expose players to. Again, we are still in development. At the top, you will see Rect Alpha. This is that message has been changed since 2015, but all right. We have to try. We have to try to make this kind of map. Visually, it's a mess. But once that is overcome, we have 1 area, 2 area, 3 area. So 3 levels of height here visible. If we go down here, again, we also have going all the way up here. So it is a mishmash, yes. Visually a mess. But it's perfectly playable if you are a little bit versed in the movement. And this is the thing that we skipped, well, I skipped, basically, is that I actually got stuck here. Ha ha ha! This is great. I am actually stuck. Okay. There we go. So, bug report. You can get stuck here. I didn't know this time. So what I was saying. I was saying, again, we are in development because I just got stuck. A little weird thing there. A game's still in development. We're going to attempt things. Also, we're not going to sugarcoat anything for newer players. We're not going to base our game on the play tests of newbies that have played high-level arena shooters. This is an advanced map. Whatever form our community might take, this is not an easy map. So what you do is, you're jumping, you're using energy, you're using the wall rides, you're trying to navigate this area while trying to shoot your opponent, because that's kind of what the game is about. Yeah. So if I go down here, look, there's a little cubby hole there. that is not always easy to get through and then navigate through this hole here. There's a lot of drops. Well, it's called nadir, which is basically, you know, lowest pit. So, yeah. This is not holding your hand at any point. That's the justification I'm trying to make with this video right now, is that basically bear with us. And this is the more advanced shit you're gonna see. The claustrophobia, the somewhat... See, these are things that will need to be streamlined, I will admit. Like this area here is very clunky. It does punish you for going this route, unless you are very skilled in using or very used to using our little movement there. So yeah, we'll see what happens. We're gonna try and playtest this map and see whether or not people absolutely hate us. There we go. There's the... This is a bigger jump. You actually have to really try... You can get here without using the gravity belt, but you might as well use it for a little bit of a boost, and that's all you need. It's a concept. Now, from claustrophobia, and this is kind of the journey I've made, is that from one extreme to the other, got nadir out of my system. I made it in Hammer, by the way, and then imported it into UDK because of the BSP wasn't really that great for an Unreal tournament. Which also contributed to maybe the bleakness of the map so far. But there we are. Now, from one extreme to the other, now we're going to Somnus, which is inspired by a certain Unreal 99 map. Alright, so as a departure from nadir, this is another thing I've been working on. This is now fully in dev mode. So sorry, no more pretty things. Somnus is loosely inspired by Unreal 99's Morpheus, in that there's 3 buildings, and it allows for people to traverse between those buildings, and, you know, the avenues of where one jumps from point to point are important. Now, I'm not going to show or talk about this too much because it is too much in development, but I just wanted to show you that there is a whole different kind of map that can be made with the same game. Somnus allows for it's very close to actually Tribes-like gameplay here. We have these areas that I still need to develop, but there is a very different speed to it. And the one thing I was really worried about was surface area. Whereas you would move through all of this really fast, and there would be a lot of complex geometry going on everywhere, but it doesn't really matter, because the moment you stop, your area becomes your arena. But you could choose to ignore that and shoot through and not fight at all. No? So, and just go through here. There is so much you could do with the anti-grav if you're unbound by regular confines of a map. So the concept of Somnus definitely is high speed racing behavior, basically. But once you start, the pickups basically are going to choose where you are going to fight. Have these smaller areas that are far more elaborate in terms of geometry. Allow you to have a arena fight there and have your tribes chase if you know how to navigate the map. So you've got these things. Again, this is very rough, okay? That building's the most worked out, but the internals are still... See, I can tribes jetpack just from there to there. This is no problem. This is the movement I get. But once I hit the ground, that's it. I'm rooted there unless I'm starting to do very advanced sort of movement, right? So there we go. See, that's not a good jump. I need to extend that platform so that's easier to do. This area here as well is very precarious. Don't try this at home, kids. Boom, I bump into this. That's maybe not a good idea. But is this... And this is an important thing. This is where I want to get. This is in development. So I'm running through this. There's some texturing issues, but don't worry about that. what is acceptable? What is an acceptable level of difficulty? If I am here, I've raised this up, so already I need to be careful. I need to have a running jump and a little. Nope. Okay, fine. I need to restart this real quick because I haven't put in the kill floor. Kill and just gonna really be angry with me. So let's go back there. There we go. Let's go up here for a sec. See, I know my play. This looks like a complete chaos, but it's not. I know my way around here. This is the sad thing about being a map maker, the chaos. There's a lot of floaty blocks that are just placeholders and things I copy and shit. So what's acceptable here? I do the running jump, it doesn't quite work. Do I want to lower this and allow you to have this easy jump? I still use the energy. Do I need to use the energy? Does it, well, am I supposed to? I think I can make it without the energy. So what is acceptable here? Where am I coming from? This area here, I can do a full jump without hitting the ceiling. That's fine. That's what it's designed for. Still, if I'm going too flat, if I don't have the height of the jump, then yeah, nope, and we're down again. See? So, yeah, that's okay. This is a very good example of what I've been experimenting with. This is BSP. This is a full circle here, a full half circle hole, and it allows you to bob around almost with a little bit of mouse movement. You can even start a jump almost. It's really, really cute. This wall here, for instance, as well. Well, no, this one here. It's you could travel an immense distance using the gravity. See, I'm on top already, using just a little bit of gravity belt. So if I'm not using it, I'm using a little bit at the end there, just to not fall again. This jump, again, same thing. Whoops. If I'm using nothing, yeah, I can make it, no problem. See, now, whoop. Oh, I hit the edge. That's too bad. That would have been a cool jump. So, yeah, Quake skate parks. Actually, more tribes-like skate parks. What the arena maps for Tribes Ascent should have been, basically. And there's, because of this openness, there is no real rule or flow. The flow is 100% open. See? So there are no routes, there are no the exact opposite of nadir, basically. Nadir is, this is a fixed area, this is how you're going to move. Core has that, but yeah, I mean, for Rect, even just a flat plateau is a cool thing. So, on that note, there is another possibility. Now, this is a bit of a what if. And I am trying to find a way, because in the previous video I already showed you I have been working with landscapes a little bit, trying to mesh them together. Now, there is a certain issue of scale when working with that, because the game would be a little strange. But regardless, so I will show you just a little sneak peek of what is possible. This is Unreal Engine. These are the kind of things I did before I joined Rect, and I really, really want to find a way to include this. But this area is boring. There's not much to do. Let's take a look over the horizon. Now, the Rect movement isn't ready for this, because there are certain adjustments that still need to be made. But the terrain is here. It is capable and ready. Mechanics are there as well. I need to use the shield not to splatter myself. climbing the hill using a bit of the grav belt as a jetpack. What kind of gameplay we are gonna get from this, I don't know. But it's here. And I'm gonna try and make it work. Proper strafing for a moment there. This is a mirrored map, by the way, fully. And it's about the size of all Tribes Ascend maps combined. And this is where I crater, I think. Oof. But yeah. This is also a different kind of game. And my dream is to combine this landscape. Maybe not the full amount, but some of it. Together with the base play, the internals of a map like Core. So you have a complete change of pace between the inside and the outside, and it's all using the same movement code. Again, there's some adjustments in it. This is not perfect, but you know, makes you wonder what would happen if you had a proper combination of the two realities, let's say. You can see the speeds I'm going at right now. It's about to double what I've gone in any other maps before. If you use the anti-grav, we can hit 4,000. There we go. And of course in the slopes I need to prevent myself from crashing. I'm already at 60 HP. You can crater. Yeah! Woo! 1 HP! Ah! The terrain. I can't help but add to this a little bit. This is the size of the terrain I made. This is fully mirrored 4-way, as you can see in the middle here. And yeah, just to get an idea of the size, I'll zoom in to the starting area we were at before. Well, around here somewhere, not exactly. But that's basically where we were at, yeah? Yeah. Big. Now then, back to reality, and this is the final leg of the journey here. This is Entry. And Entry is a map that I'm currently working on a day-to-day basis. This is me, after a hiatus, returning to mapping. All the maps before were, let's say, from before I took a little break. So I'm trying to refine all the issues. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to make these videos, is so I could find my way again. Entry is an attempt to combine all the issues I had with the previous maps. It is bigger. I mean, Somnus is still in active development. It's not something I've put by the wayside, but it's still been a long time coming. Entry's been over the last couple of weeks that I've been working on it, and it combines everything I've learned so far. It has the verticality back of Core. It is bigger, less claustrophobic than Nadir, because I think Nadir is a little bit too extreme. But you can see that isn't quite the small scale finesse yet that I had with Core, but I think Core might be a little too snug. So this is a compromise between the two. And the problems I'm working with here is now that we have the 3 levels. And what I'm doing now, what I've been doing now, is just doing the rounds, basically. There's still some issues, like here, for instance. Should I be able to jump up here without assistance? Should I is this okay to accept this from my players? That if I'm going down here, this kind of thrones thing, that they have to do this, that is the level of skill I require of them to navigate this area. What is acceptable? How much do I have to baby my audience? And yeah, like for instance, this is not traversable at all, except for some miracle. I've done it. But maybe starting off the slope, doing a bit of a jump there. No, that's not going to be it. So there's going to be a lot of navigate. And this is the same thing that happens in tribes. This is what happens in tribes. In tribes, you have a map, hills, many miles to navigate. And it takes a while. Sometimes it takes the navigating of a single hill at a certain angle in order to successfully traverse it. If I'm here, is it okay to expect that from the people here? And I don't know. We still have to figure that out. Because if I keep going in this little circle, on this level, these 2 levels of height, you will never get to the 3rd level. Because you have to move outside of bounds to do so. That's what entry is about. And there's another map that I might show that has the same thing going on. Yeah, we'll probably take a look at that map. So, yeah. How do I get there? Do I even know? I've not been looking up. If I look up, suddenly there's a whole map here. What the hell? And that's what I expect. I expect people to actually look up. And that's the hardest thing to do. That's a very difficult thing to do that I learned from Portal, for instance, the development problems of Portal, where they had to literally have arrows sticking out of the ground and shit and things moving in order for them to show people that, yeah, look, this is another level. This is not finished yet, but there is another level of depth here. Also, similar, what I expect, this looks like a fairly large gap. But it isn't, because I can perfectly traverse this. There's no problem here. Same thing here. I can just have a little boost of energy and I'm across. This is baseline movement. Can go a little higher here. Maybe even make it over there. Yeah, no problem. I didn't know that. I just tried it. Because I discovered these maps as I'm playing them too. Another beautiful area, same thing. That platform is not difficult to reach. Now in core, there are no areas like this. I don't push the actual limit. This is the actual limit. This is me, there we go, using all of my energy to get up there. If I have a little bit more momentum, I can get a little farther, upsy daisy, and do the circle, and now I'm here. And then I fall down because I missed the jump, really. Didn't do it properly. That's the visceral thing about the whole game. And I can keep giving you examples. There's a billion ways to navigate this. And that's the kind of thing I'm trying to button down with Somnus as well. There's nothing here yet. Yeah. But the limits are there. I'm using half of my energy to go up here. I'm going to try and get this jump right, but it doesn't really work. There's another thing. The throne I have made here is another thing. I just use energy to get up there. It's already becoming a bit of a tick of mine because there's a lot of ways to traverse this. If I start all the way at the bottom here, there's a huge cascade here, right? There is literally... That's a waterfall. That could be, we could put some water in there. That could become a waterfall, hanging garden shit. So navigate here. Okay, fine. I could move like this, like a moron, just move forwards. Without jumping, I can just do that. Except you're going to be dead 10 times if you do. So what else do we have? We can try, like I said, the side here. If you use the sides, there we go. It's a little less awkward. It is very awkward indeed. Or I go over here, use all the energy, get to the second level. There's a lot of things to do here. But do I even want to do this? This is a nice cascade. 3 levels, again. Semi with... But there's a lot of fucking around to do here. This as well, this corridor. Oops, there we go. Navigated that badly, fine. It can be fun to learn this map properly once it's final and do things, you know? Navigate that a little bit. There's almost no air control. There's a little bit, but it's not too much. Okay, maybe get up there. Can we get up there? Oh. With energy, no problem. Without energy, yeah. Maybe need a bit more of a head start and get the jump right. Oh, I already started using my energy. This is a great thing about it. Boom, boom, boom. No, don't have enough momentum to make it. So there's something, either is it, that's the thing. Is there something wrong here? Is there something I need to fix? Do I need to have some more, something else going on? Or is it just not a jump you're supposed to get? Is that frustrating if you can't get that jump? If you think you can make it? Sure. I mean, look how slow I went there. And now I can't make it here. So should I lower this? This is where I'm getting at. This is my mapping problem. What is acceptable? Where do I want to go? I don't want to impede flow. There we go. Now I made it. Is that too hard? I don't know. Playtesting will show that, I guess. This is another cool area that I've been fucking around with a long time. Simply this thing, it was there suddenly. And do I want to make this easier, or am I forcing people to do the wall jump? Am I forcing them to do this, or do I want them to automatically have a slope? What is the point of, well, where is the point of complexity where we end? This, again, if I use energy, I can get up here, no problem. Without energy, it's going to be a little bit more difficult, and it's actually going to be impossible, because unless I have momentum from all the way over there, which I've already fucked up because I did split this. This was a continuous corridor, but I thought that was too boring. So there we go. I don't think I have enough momentum to do anything here. Again, here, good area. Am I going to lower it like this with a slope? Am I going to make... Because this, I did make a slope here. Look, a little bit of decoration. That doesn't do anything. But that's the level of detail you're going to get. So I can slope it. Yet. Here, you're already at bottom level. Bottom level should punish. Yeah, bottom level should punish. We got this. We could do that. Or, very simply, well, the momentum from this is always going to help while I'm nowhere there. Or, we could do it like that from the bottom. So, this is not a problem. Visually, it might look like a dead stop, but it is in no way in this game a dead stop. Unless, of course, you're not going fast enough. I think I'm going to have to circle jump this. Nah, yeah. Nope. So, yeah, definitely needs to... How did I... See, I'm an idiot. So, a little bit... I think I made that slope especially for that. Oh, well. Keep failing it. It needs to be difficult. See, that's... Oh, yeah, that's the easy way to do that. Fuck. A little bit of energy to get back, because the other way around is a little harder. See, why would I try to make the jump over there when I can just, you know, make it? Jump, jump. Come on. This is a map on the... This is what I do. This is basically my way of map designing. Running around, then when I think it should be different, then I'm going to change it. But there's already a lot of movement here. It's a lot faster, a lot more free than core, and certainly than Nadir. But still, I'm not getting to the top level. I need more ways getting to the top level, which is this level. It should be a little easier than what I'm getting at right now. I'm still using all of my energy. This is a... Yeah, no. I could probably make something here, like a platform here, to go up there. And then I'm down again. The easiest way is of course my little cascade slope here, which again you can cheat your way around. I'm thinking maybe I need to like bisect it. I'm gonna put a slope through it maybe, so it's easier to navigate. This is of course, this is already some high-end movement that I shouldn't really expect. So yeah, this is definitely still a dead area. Can't make it. All right. Thing is, if I can't make things in the first jump, then that's category 3. If I can't make it in 2 jumps, then you know the difficulty starts making up. I'm not the best at this game, even though I'm the developer for it. But there are grades in how intuitive things need to be in terms of navigating it. But it's always going to be a Lego box. There we go. So there's no purpose to moving around here yet. If I wouldn't have botched that, I could have made the jump. But yeah, there we go. This is basically wrecked development. Moving around the map like an idiot. And soon we'll start playtesting again. And it is difficult. There we go. This is but that's far too difficult to get up here, because you have to have the full energy boosts. So I need more areas. So it was fun. Boink boink. Made it. Right. Yeah. I'll show that last map, and then we're done. All right, so this is Sprawl. Sprawl was the first map I made in Hammer before one of 2 maps that I made in Hammer before moving back to UDK BSPs. This is more of a horizontal map. It still has a lot of verticality, but somehow allows you to move around more vertically. So bit of a prelude to what is happening on Somnus right now with the wide open areas. So again, this is where what I was talking about. If you move around regularly on this map, it has a lot more of a traditional feel to it in terms of large flat open spaces. You've got these little pits, and you've got, you can of course use the anti-grav to get out of that slope, or just run around here. This is the more traditional and probably the safest map I've made. Got some tribes elevators here. You can go quite high, but there's still this quite open. It's 3rd and 4th level. Very open. Not a lot of pickups here. So you've got a grenade launcher here. You've got several ways of getting there, but a lot easier ways actually. Still closed off. If you are going to keep your vision horizontal, it is still going to be difficult to find your way up there. But once you get these stairs here and you're up there, you immediately notice that there's quite a platform. Whoops, made a mistake. Whoops. Still a lot of energy use here. And some tribes elevators do a little bit of a peekaboo here. But several ways, like the staircase over there, the tribes elevator there, and then on the other side we've got this area. Let's see how we get there again, because it's been a while since I opened this map. I'm thinking it's with energy you can take this slope, and it gets you to where you want to be on the outside edge. This is also one of the few maps that it's open and it is fully encapsulated, so you have a lot of walls to work with out on the outside, so that immediately makes it easier, let's say, because you have your walls. Even on a tribes elevator here, that doesn't bring you to the 3rd level but to the 2nd level. If you then use the step up that we have here, and then you could move over there, or the easiest route to just move up there. But look at that, our little friend, the first wall. It doesn't look like it, but this is the same height wall than is presented on core. So there we go. Without without a jump, you're not gonna make it. So again, that immediately shows the difference in scale that I've been working with. Core was tiny. Core was absolutely tiny, but this has gotten a lot bigger soon, and the speed is much larger as well, because I'm hitting over 2,600 there in that drop. So this here, the little bit of a noob pit is also a lot smaller. We have this area, which is, again, look up. You just have to look up. Sometimes you have to look up. And that's, because I didn't really touch on transitioning. Transitioning is that you suddenly, once you start looking up, you see that the map suddenly starts looking a lot different. So that's the transition of, okay, yeah, I understand when I'm down here. There's quite a lot, and there's a lot of people running around there. So yeah, I haven't actually looked at this map for a long time, and there's a sense of fatigue. Once you finish a map, you never want to look at it again for a while. So yeah. So again, boom, I missed that, so I have to move back up here. I can go there, I can use the slope here, that's an easier one. I can use this slope here to get some air. Yeah, I can get some momentum out of that. Maybe use this and stay up. Staying up on the top, looking down, is a lot more important. We do have our dear friend the railgun, but the railgun is not an issue if you're worried about that. That's, well, first thing you see if you see an open map like this. An open map like this can't exist in Quake unless you kill the railgun, and even then. But because of the speed of the movement that is allowed and the amount of navigating that you can do, I mean, see, that's a very slow projectile, right? So it's going to be quite difficult to rail someone through all of this. That's going to make for some really interesting shots. From there, for instance. See? But yeah, so this is the more pedestrian map. This is the easiest map I've made, I think. And it combines a lot more curves. All of this is, again, meshes. It's not BSP, whereas entry was BSP. But there we are. I think I'm going to end it there. It's been long enough. But this has been an overview of what Rect has to offer in terms of mapping and the way things are getting approached. So it is visceral, it is undecorated, but as you can see with me moving around here a little bit, why that is. My movement has been rather scripted, let's say. I've not really, well, no, that's the wrong word to use. I mean, I've not really been traversing too much. I think we need to make a little bit of a compilation video of people moving around this map properly while not talking and trying to concentrate on what they're trying to do. Trying to say rather than do, even. Yeah. So thanks for watching. I hope this has been enlightening. And yeah, that Rect is going to be a game worth following, basically. There's a bit of a weird jump there. Oh god, I'm going to start editing all of these maps now. Alright, but there we go. A overview of the possibilities. And Rect is an evolution. Might not be the one everyone's waiting for, but it's definitely a step up of what already exists. So thanks for watching, and bye-bye.